Alright, I'm Mike. You can call me Mike.
Call me Mike.
He's black.
You can call me.
You can call me Alan.
You can call me Alan. What's up? I'm Alan. We're just here today to share some info with y'all.
Some info about nutrition, workouts, supplements, sleep, all that good stuff. That's gonna help you being a novice / intermediate lifter. Make the most out of your newbie gains.
Yeah, just sort of like things that you should probably think about before you start going to the gym. Before you try to pick some sort of exercise plan, just like the beginner things that I wish I would have known when I first started working out, 5-6 years ago, that I'm sorting to pay for at this point, just because I wasn't really guided properly. So we're just gonna kind of touch over a lot of that stuff, give you guys some good pointers and tips.
Man, because if I would have knew the knowledge that we are gonna give you, because I've only been lifting a year, but through this year I did so much research, because there's not really videos online. There's not really videos online about the stuff we're going to teach you guys.
Yeah, we're just gonna a good majority of this is gonna come from some of the textbooks that I've just collected over the years of going to school. So it's gonna get more in depth than your traditional YouTube how-to video. We're gonna break this down into what about
I think it's 18 different videos.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot of material, but at the same time, each video is gonna serve its own little purpose.
Yeah.
And we're gonna try and keep them short and sweet. That way, you guys can actually get some value out of them, without taking up too much of your time.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. All right. So Alan, what made you get into fitness as much as you are now?
Well, I always played sports growing up: basketball, baseball, football. Not so much football. Kind of hurt myself in 4th grade. Thanks to one of my buddies. We were just doing a tackling drill, damaged my growth plate, wasn't able to really play contact sports all that much anymore. But growing up, I was always a smaller kid, so when I got to high school, it was tough for me to play sports like basketball and football, just because I was just so small compared to everybody else, or at least that was my mindset at the time, even though physically I was 4'11", 95 pounds. So that's really why I started working out, and it's really just the rest is history from there. So.
Nice.
What about you? What made you get into working out?
Basically, throughout middle school, 7th and 8th grade, I guess. That's what my school was, 7th and 8th grade. But I was always pretty small. It was when I started playing sports, and I didn't have much knowledge on the sport or experience because when I started. But I always got hurt super easy because I was weak.
Right, we were so small.
Yeah. So and I didn't play much because I didn't have any experience. Everybody else that played was in youth, and I never was. I was just yo, what up? I'm here to play. I'm black. I'm about.
What up?
I forget how tall I was, but I was kind of taller.
Yeah.
I was I'm black.
So you had some height on everybody.
I was kind of fast at the time.
Right. You were picked first.
Yeah. But I didn't perform every day. Because I was new to it, but then I got into high school freshman year, didn't play much because the coach didn't like me, and then sophomore year I started varsity. How does that happen? Go from playing 2 snaps to starting varsity your sophomore year.
Yeah,
but within that sophomore year, I broke my 4th and 5th metacarpal by getting stuck a face mask and twisting my hand. Tragic.
That was actually, I can feel that.
Yeah, bro. But I was a kicker. So I got to keep kicking. I was a 3-year letterman.
Oh, so you didn't really play football?
Yeah, no.
You just kicked on his leg.
This junior year.
I know you were a kicker.
Yeah, junior year. It was in 7-on-7s passing scrimmages, and I broke my collarbone. I was going for a slant. The linebacker jumped it, tripped me, and I went straight down on my shoulder, snapped my collarbone, lost my wind, bro. I didn't even know I broke my collarbone, so I was laying on my back on the sideline, and I just wouldn't stop sweating.
Yeah, I've never even broken a bone.
Bro, it sends your body into a shock.
I don't even know.
Bro, sends your body into a shock, and I wasn't sweating at the time. I was starting to get kind of hot, but then I was laying on the sideline, and I was sweating for 30 fucking minutes. I'm yo, why am I still sweating? Why does my shoulder hurt?
Something's not right. Something's up.
Why does my shoulder hurt?
Coach,
yeah.
Coach, I'm not cool.
But it was that sophomore summer. I lifted a lot, made a good right amount of gains. Then I broke my collarbone, lost all my gains because I sat in a fucking recliner.
You couldn't do anything.
I slept in a recliner for a couple months, and then after I broke my collarbone. I finally healed, and it took me a long time, obviously because the bone was weak. I couldn't really lift to my full potential. It took me so long to start actually lifting weights again. But then like I just started lifting, getting big, and it just became my hobby and literally what I do on my free time, even on my rest days. Like I wish it was like a rest muscle.
I saw what you posted today.
You get on your rest days.
Yeah.
But that's
Hey, well,
pretty
you
much-
work at GNC though too, so you
Yeah.
get more than just the fitness side
all the
of things.
subs.
Like, yeah, he's getting those all supplements. How long you been there?
A year, over a year. Last month was a year.
Yeah, so hit him up for the supplements.
Arlington GNC,
Arlington GNC.
Akron, Ohio.
So,
Why did you start studying fitness so much?
kind of a long story, but I ended up going to school for finance because I was like good at numbers. Like math was my strong suit in high school. And I took some finance courses in high school. I kind of enjoyed them. The teacher was great. That was probably most of it, honestly. But then went to school for a year. Didn't really enjoy it that much, so I took some time off to work in like a job that was somewhat related to my field. Realized I just wasn't gonna enjoy it, and the only thing I was really passionate about at the time was like health and exercise and wellness. So I went back to school at the University of Akron for exercise science in like 2015, I think. Maybe 2016. One of the two, anyway. And then started working at a company called OsteoStrong, which is also a health and wellness company. So it's just something that, I'm so passionate about, so I might as well actually know the right information. That way I'm actually feeding myself. Like, I struggled for years trying to find stuff online telling me what to do and figure out how to get things started, and everything was so
beat around the bush about it and
right,
not be real.
So generic, not like very like you can never get something very, very specific like that is detailed for you. Like when you read an article on men's health, is for the general population, like it's not for you. Like it's literally not. Like especially when you're getting started, like that's for somebody that's already been working out for probably multiple years.
And they know, like they look at that and like they know what is surrounded by that, not just those workouts. So they know how to prepare for those workouts.
Right.
And they know nutrition and like all that good stuff. Like,
right. Most people don't have like a starting point, ending point. They just jump into something that someone else tells them. And that was like my problem, and I ended up hurting myself multiple times because of it. Yeah. Just doing dumb stuff in the gym, thinking I knew what I was doing. Yeah. Like,
bro, and this is kind of off topic, but ego lifters are the worst, absolute worst.
I've been that guy.
Yeah,
you've probably been that guy too.
I mean, yeah, when I was
for
weak,
like a little bit.
Yeah, when I was weak, I was always trying to max out like every other week.
Right, so that was you.
Dude. Like, I was like, man, there's all these people in here. Man, I ain't trying to put up 135 for 5.
Right, looking like this strong.
You know what? To max out real quick.
Right, 160. Like you crazy or something? No offense to anybody does 135, 160, but just looking back on it.
I was there. There. A year ago.
That was awful.
A year ago, I was benching. Yeah. What was I benching? Obviously, my muscle endurance was fucking trash.
Yeah.
Like, I had to fix all that. But like, whenever I first started lifting, I couldn't even get 225 up. I don't even think I could get 185 up because but once my muscle memory kicked in and my endurance kicked in, like I was like at 205, maybe. That's pushing it.
You think so?
Creatine. Throughout the year, my bench went from whatever it was, 185, I forget, but then it went up to 205, 225, 230, 240, and now I'm up to 285 is my max currently. A year later.
I'm gonna make him get that on camera for
I
y'all.
will.
No, I'm just playing. I don't even really know what mine is. I haven't done it in a minute. Hurt my chest. We'll talk about that in the videos later. Actually, about how not to do that. Almost tore my boob off my ribs.
Or like Jeremy Buendia did.
Oh yeah.
But now he's fucking on probably every steroid in the book.
He
just got massive in 3 months.
Happens out of nowhere. That's where you gotta get suspect.
Yeah.
That's how you gotta get suspect.
Why Jeremy Buendia looked like me 3 months ago, and now he looks like he's about to win his 5th Olympia.
Right? Don't make no sense. Just putting in straight steroids everywhere.
I mean,
Yeah,
they're
so
athletes. They're professional lifting athletes. They get paid to look massive.
Mhm.
So like, I guess the cons when it
Yeah,
comes to steroids is probably worth it because that's what they do for a living,
Right.
and they have millions of
Right.
followers and stuff
Right.
like that.
Pros and